Good morning, guys. This is Vishal from Word from the Street, and it's been a while. It's been a few days since I did the video, so let's jump into it. What are we seeing this morning? What we saw last week, and what we saw yesterday. Let's look at S&P 500 ETF SPY, and as you can see, we were in this channel of 259 and 255 for almost since October all the way down till November. Almost for a month we were channeling in this range, and we finally had a breakout last week, but not much, since we had a small week, not much of a big candles, but we still had a breakout. But then yesterday we got some tax news, and we saw this was the biggest spike on SPY, almost $2.60, I think, since August. If you look back, I mean, I know we have made all-time highs every time, but this was the biggest candle, and the new target on SPY would be 265.81. But I feel we have a pullback coming around this 259. As you can see, every time we have ran away from the 13 SMA, we had pulled back to 13 SMA, and we have tested it, and then we have bounced back. Right here, it's been 4 days. We haven't had that pullback, so just keep this in mind that we can easily have a pullback to this 259 level. The higher the SPY goes, the bigger the pullback would be. So, the faster we have a pullback is better for our next leg up. But I think we see the 265 before we see any pullback. Now let's look at the QQQ. And this has been on a rampage since we had that Amazon earnings in October, and been just constantly running. And as you can see here, in the beginning of the month, we had some resistance at this 154 level, had a pullback, same with the 13 SMA, and then we kind of went sideways, and then we had a breakout. Now we are stuck at this 127 fib line, which is the 156.73. We got rejected there yesterday. We were unable to close above it. The tech is lagging. Even though we had some tech news yesterday, we didn't really see much of a jump in other big FANGs or Apple, especially when Apple will be the biggest company to benefit from this tax plan. But we see Apple lagging here a little bit. So my concern is to watch this. Maybe we kind of come down to this 154 and then try to make a new uptrend. My target again for this end of the year would be 159.42, unless we get some other political news or no tax plan. But I see a testing at this around 155, which is also the 13 SMA. All right, let's talk about Apple. Apple has been struggling. Even though Qs are going higher and higher, Apple has not been doing the same. If Apple was following the Qs, it should be around this 177, 180 area by now. Here what we are seeing is we had a nice consolidation last week in this 170 region. We tried to make a new uptrend, but we got rejected at this 127 fib line on last week. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday, I think. Yep. And then Thursday we had a nice downtrend. We tested yesterday the 13 SMA. We closed above it, but just the way this trend is going, I see a nice downtrend here. Should be hitting 170s. Might go lower if we break this time. So Apple puts on this side would be something to keep an eye on. Even though we have tax news coming this week, Apple has not been reacting to it very good. But as you can, like in last 2 to 3 weeks, we have not seen much from Apple except this, wave, and it's also kind of like lower highs, which is not good. So I would keep an eye on Apple and see if it goes under 170. The next stop would be around this 165 and then 162. So Apple on heavy watch on a short side. All right, let's look at DPZ, Domino's Pizza. Yesterday we saw a nice pullback. It's been struggling to make an uptrend, but yesterday I think we made a double bottom at this 167, 168 area, and look at this reversal hammer. I feel this time we're gonna go higher. My target is 180 on it. Also, this morning, DPZ had two big news. They got a price upgrade to 201 by Nomura, and they also had a special delivery Domino's launches baby registry. So they had two news this morning. It's been trending up this morning. It's been up a buck, almost a buck this morning. So my target on DPZ here is 190, 195 by January. I'm holding some 190 calls for January. Got in yesterday at this dip. A little late, but still the dip. And I think we make a new uptrend from here. Once we cross over this resistance level, which is right around this line, which would be 178, we should see back to 189, 190. Just right here, it's been struggling. It had a nice support here, but then once it broke down, it tried to break again and wasn't able to break out. So let's see if second time's the charm, and hopefully we can go up and make a new test this 190. All right, so people always ask how do we buy Bitcoins stocks? Well, there is no Bitcoin stocks. You can only buy Bitcoin on cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase or Gemini or Kraken. But here is Cboe Global Markets, and Bitcoin futures are going to be added on these exchanges on Cboe and CME in December. And you can see this. This has been on a beautiful uptrend for almost a year now. And we alerted this stock back in I think 2 weeks back in our newsletter when it was around this one, right at this price target, right at this support of this candle right here. And we got in the next day, and since then it's been almost up $8 since that alert. I took my profits. People are still holding it. I feel we see a nice continuation of this. Let's see if I can make that fib line again. Got it. And we are in this range where we can easily test that 124, and if you break that, we can go to 136. So my price target is still standing by around this 136, 140. I would be looking to jump back in this if we have a nice consolidation. As you can see, every time it had a pop, had a small pullback, and then a pop, a small pullback, a pop, pullback, and a pop. So I'm expecting a little bit of pullback around this 120-ish, and then probably get in and hold for this breakout of 125. And let's look at CME. They're both pretty much the same thing. They run together. And that was pretty big right here. As you can see, CME, nice uptrend, a pullback to this 133, 116 level, and then again a uptrend, nice higher lows, then a pullback, and then a nice spike yesterday. So what do we expect here? The pattern shows that we see a nice pullback today, maybe to this 143 level. Nice red candles for a couple days, and then a pop over 146, maybe going to 154 by December if we get that news from the Bitcoin futures being added on this exchange, which I think will be. I think there's a news right here somewhere that is going to JP Morgan Chase considering clients access to Bitcoin future market. on the CME exchange. So right here. So if this actually goes through, we can see this run. This will also help their revenues. They have an earnings coming in February. So any kind of calls for March, I think would be a good play here. Maybe looking into getting some 150s call for March. It's a little out the money, but it's not really if you're earning $3 a day. So something to keep an eye on. I would wait for a pullback here, though. I think this pattern is just so easy to see. Right here, pullback, 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 and then maybe a pullback and a run over 150. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you guys are all profiting from our alerts. Is there any suggestion or any particular thing that you want us to do, show on the charts? We will gladly do it. Please leave the comment below, and let's try to work together and make some money.